Kickoff is nigh at the 3 matches around the country. I will hand you over to Rob McLean, who's going to be anchoring coverage of Rangers versus Kilmarnock. Rob.
Thanks, David. Celtic denied the chance to move to within 3 points of the top of the Premiership when their game was effectively rained off in the northeast earlier on today. But that prospect very much alive tonight for Rangers on the back of the result in Paisley, the opportunity to trim that gap at the top of the top flight, and they will do that if they can maintain their momentum. 25th game in charge for Danny Rule, and his domestic record since taking over is pretty awesome, and from a position where Rangers were toiling so badly at the start of the season, now a real chance for them to be in the mix at the business end of the season. Against Kilmarnock tonight, lifted by their defeat of Aberdeen at the weekend, and getting some new players on board as well. 6 January signings for Neil McCann. And certainly a bullish approach from the manager going into this one. Knows all about how the home team operate. He and Billy Dodds were, of course, here for the last 3 months of last season, part of the coaching staff under the management of Barry Ferguson. And they take Kilmarnock here with a fair bit of hope, boosted hope at least, off the back of the weekend.
I think at the start of the game we were wondering what shape Kilmarnock were playing. It's similar to what they have been doing with Kilty off the front two, but out of possession I think he's been asked to get out in the right hand side and be a bit flatter of a flat two at certain points, but that'll be some shift, but it's that's the way they've set up.
I also noticed they switched sides. I can only assume Kilmarnock won the toss. The elements aren't really playing a part. It's not particularly windy, so I don't really know the thinking behind wanting to change sides.
Inside info for Neil McCann and Billy Dodds.
A slight slope, maybe?
Yeah, that was what the insider knowledge was. Magoma clearing for Rangers. Disappointed, the home team, in terms of chance creation at Easter Road at the weekend. It wasn't about missing chances in Edinburgh, it was more about not fashioning enough of them. It was a match Hibs felt they could have won. It ended up being a decent point for Rangers. And since Danny Rule has taken over, it's just 1 defeat in the Premiership, 12 wins, and it's been some transformation. Giga with a challenge defensively for Rangers, wearing a fetching pair of white leggings. Here we go, Rangers on the attack now with Mikey Moore cutting inside, slipping the ball through for JD Gassama, who goes down, and it is a Stonewall penalty, and it's a red card to go with it. It's a nightmare start for Kilmarnock, down to 10 men, and they could be about to go a goal down.
Yeah, I think it is a penalty. Great work in the left hand side from Magoma. Moore picks it up just behind Kilmarnock's midfield, drives in the pitch towards the 18-yard box. He's got great support for Gassama. The crowd were actually wanting to play it earlier, and he takes another couple of touches and then slips a ball between centre half and full back. Gassama gets on it and Thompson unintentionally cleans him out, but when he's just about to get a shot off about 7-8 yards, it's always going to be a red card.
Yeah, the time of the pass is sublime. Everybody, I think, in the stadium was asking him to pass it on the outside to Gassama, but he holds and holds and holds. I know they're checking for possible offside, because Gassama comes in the pitch, Rob, and he plays it inside the fullback. So it'll be interesting to see whether he is off or not, which would be a massive reprieve for Kilmarnock.
See, just on that, when you're talking about that pass through for Moore, that's probably what he didn't do in the first 3 months of his Rangers career. He was building confidence, but now he's got the confidence. and he's not really caring what's happening around him. He's going to pick the right thing to do. He plays the harder pass, which makes it easier for Gassama.
You'll judge by the reaction here that there was no offside. The red card stands, the penalty stands, and it's a chance for James Tavernier to get into double figures for the season. Up steps the Rangers captain, and he scores in his usual fashion. 10 goals for the season for Tavernier. Rangers ahead early on against now 10-man Kilmarnock as they look to close the gap at the top of the Premiership to 3 points. They're already well on their way.
Yes, indeed, and Kilmarnock will need to have a real think about how they're going to handle this, because they did come flying out the traps in terms of their press and their squeeze, and they were high up the pitch. But it's going to be very difficult to do that now, being a man down. It was Rangers' first real attack of the game. As Nazy says, Magoma's run forward, breaks the lines with his pass through to Moore, who does extremely well. Rangers find themselves 1-0 up after a positive start from Kilmarnock. Where do they go from here?
Short-term lines looks as if he's went to right back, Larsson to left back, 4-4-1.
Well, that was not part of the script. I wonder if the shackles might be back on now.
Yeah, well, I think for this next 10 minutes it'll be try and contain the game, drop the atmosphere and get a new game plan.
Yeah, Brad Lyon slotting in at right back. He's played there previously. Larsson left back as a cross comes in from the right side for Kilmarnock as they look to come up with some sort of response. Goal at Livingston.
Yeah, Rob, it's a goal for Falkirk. They're ahead early on in the game. It's Kyril Wilson with a very narrow angle shot. Good play down the left-hand side for the Bairns. They switched that across to the right. Kyril Wilson, I thought maybe the angle was too near the byline for him, but he struck it well. Got it beyond Jerome Pryor. And it is Livingston 0, Falkirk 1.
Falkirk continuing on their merry way, and not what Livingston wanted early on in Marvin Batley's first game in charge. So goal there and goal here. James Tavernier doing what he does, and Rangers already in a very strong position, and Kilmarnock feeling at this early stage they can't afford to concede again. And it was a lovely chip ball into the box from James Tavernier, which almost created. Gassama fires it in. The ball is bundled behind. It's a corner kick for Rangers, and Kilmarnock are under serious pressure here.
Yeah, for years everyone's spoken about Rangers' inability to break down a low block, but Mikey Moore has shown in this game early on, as has Gassama, that if you are prepared to make forward runs beyond the last line of the opposition's defence, it will create space and opportunities for others, and it's looking a bit ominous for Kilmarnock at this point.
Corner kick, Rangers, right hand side, already a goal up. Jayden Magoma takes it short. Tavernier. Now Magoma finding a better angle. Squares it to Gassama. Out towards, wow, Diomande. 25 yards out. Struck it pretty well, but it skims just wide of target.
Yep, they play the short corner, drawing more bodies out the box. They've got two on the edge. They reel the near man in to pressure him, and Diomande gets a decent strike, and it finds its way right through everybody. It was not far away for that bottom corner. I
notice this all the time now, Stephen. See, you know, when I played, if it was a short corner, you seen it coming and there was two men out to the ball instantly. Defending teams only ever seem to have one out, and they're outnumbered. It's a 2v1. I mean, how easy was that for Rangers to work the ball across for Diomande to get the shot away?
Yeah, it was, and I think but more nowadays there's more on set plays, and it's about what you're willing to risk. And if they're willing to the ball to come in the box to win the header, then they might accept that. But also I think the 10-man Kilmarnock are still reorganising in every aspect.
Anderson's pass in behind for Tyrese John Jules. You were just waiting for a flag to go up, which it does now.
Yeah, it was a clear offside. He does go through. Tavernier does a brilliant recovery tackle as well.
Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0 on BBC Radio Scotland, and Livingston 0, Falkirk 1, Hibs 0, Dundee United 0. The three matches to have survived, with Dundee Motherwell off and Aberdeen Celtic postponed as well to waterlogged pitches. Kilmarnock still pretty bright and looking to get the ball forward, looking to make things happen, but they're going to have to make it happen at Ibrox with 10 men. Dom Thompson red carded very early on here. If you missed the start of the match, you missed the opening goal. James Tavernier converting from the penalty spot after Moore played in Gassama, and he was cleared out by Thompson, and the outcome inevitable.
What I will say is, since the red card, when Kilmarnock have been in possession, they haven't just been knocking it long, hoping. They have tried to find their way through the pitch with short passes, which is encouraging for them.
Greg Kilty with the free kick for Killy. Headed clear as far as David Watson. Brad Lyons down the right side, looking to get the ball into the box, but it's escorted behind pretty comfortably by Tavernier for the Rangers goal kick into the middle for Raskan. It's Raskan and Diomande in that central area for Rangers. 5 changes to the team from the one which drew at Easter Road at the weekend. Mikey Moore is lively, and here he is again, wriggling in off the left side. Now with Gassama on the right, shifts it, thinks about the shot, cuts back onto the left foot, and it was on target, and it was blocked and cleared. Every time Rangers get into that final third, it spells danger, serious danger for Kilmarnock.
Mikey Moore's movement so far has been nothing short of sensational. You know, young kids from a young age are taught to stay on the move, to check off cones when they're receiving a pass. Mikey Moore's proven why you need to get into the habit of doing that just now, because even 2-3 passes before the ball comes to him, defenders don't know where he is. It's been a masterclass in how to receive the ball in really tight, difficult areas for Mikey Moore so far.
He who created the penalty from which Rangers scored, and he who looks as if he's going to do damage every time he gets on the ball. It's Magoma down that left side in tandem with Moore. Back he comes, keeping possession. Diomande gets involved, and now Mikey Moore on that left touchline again. John Suter looking to pick another hole in the Kilmarnock defence. He chipped one to the byline down the left hand side, but Mikey Moore was offside.
Just to add to Rory's Moore comments, tonight they've got Moore and Gassama, who look confident and who are 2 1v1 players, and in a game like this where Kilmarnock are going to be really low, you need these guys. And the Gassama shot comes from Moore passing it across the pitch to Gassama. He's 1v1, his feet are quick enough that he can manipulate it to get a left foot shot off. That's probably going to be a key part for the rest of the game in Rangers.
12.5 minutes gone. Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0. Elsewhere, Livingston 0, Falkirk 1, goalless at Easter Road so far. Last night, St Mirren 1, Hearts 0. That late goal from Miguel Freckleton, and the Hearts lead could be reduced to 3 if Rangers win this one. Moore again and Diomande, and on the outside it's Jayden Magoma. His cross ball in, but catching practice for Kellaroos this time. Kilmarnock on the back of that dominant 3-0 win against Aberdeen at the weekend. Neil McCann's first win as Kilmarnock manager. It's his 5th game in charge tonight, with Billy Dodds alongside him as Butland rolls the ball out to Giga. Giga jogging up to halfway, gives the ball to Askar, doesn't stick for him. Kilmarnock have it with Larsson from left back, who just hooks the ball hopefully forward, way beyond everyone, and through to the Rangers keeper Jack Butland.
You don't want to be too critical, Rob, but you know, I commented before the game, Askar, he's given the ball away 2 or 3 times. He wants to put his foot on top of the ball, stop it dead and roll somebody. He's got so much ability that, you know, you would want him to do more, but he just doesn't really seem to do enough anytime I see him.
Tavernier right in the middle of the pitch to Raskan, and now Magoma's cross ball in, and stooping to try and get his head to it was Mijovski, and it's gone behind off a Kilmarnock defender for a corner kick.
I think that's somebody in this Rangers team who need to have a good night, is Miofsky. Obviously the new signings coming in. Chermiti has stepped up since the old firm and putting in more encouraging performances. Miofsky's somebody who I think everybody thought would come into the team and do really well, but that needs to now be a moment that he turns his career and shows his value to this Rangers team.
Corner kick Rangers, left hand side. James Tavernier plays it in with lots of pace. A diving punch from Kelarus gets good distance on the clearance. It's retrieved though by Magoma. Swung in again by Tavernier. It's a useful header away, and now Tyrese John Jules just holds it up for a moment, waiting for Kilmarnock to get bodies forward. Gets a second bite at it and squares the ball across the pitch to Brad Lyons.
That was a brilliant recovering header for Brown in the middle of the Rangers box with the ball in from Tavernier.
Ethan Brown alongside Robbie Dees at the back for Kilmarnock. The ball forward to Anderson. Useful layoff now, he wants to get in the box. It's down the right hand side for Kilmarnock with Lyons into Kilty, gets it back.
Dees has got to step in there and ask for the ball, in my opinion. We've got it in the right back area. He can step in, drive the ball up the pitch, but that's a really good move from Kilmarnock. They've kept the ball really well.
Yeah, good spell of possession. Now the chance to get it in from the right hand side. Big chance for Bruce Anderson. Well, they won't come much better than that tonight for Kilmarnock, and he's side-footed it wide of target.
That needs to be a goal. It's an unbelievable move for Kilmarnock. They actually beat Rangers to their 18-yard box, and then the ball goes back to Kilmarnock centre halves. They manage to get right through the pitch again. Watson puts a brilliant ball across just around the penalty spot. Bruce Anderson's stepping on it. You expect it to hit the back of the net, and he puts it wide.
Got to be a goal.
Let's head for Easter Road, Brian.
Still 0-0 here, Rob, with 16 minutes on the clock. A couple of good opportunities though for both sides. Hibs, Dan Scarlett, who's looked particularly bright up front this evening, set up Ellie Ewan, his shot just wide of the goal, and then Trapanovsky, who's giving Felix Palak a real torrid time down the left hand side, cut inside and his shot just tipped away by Salinger in the Hibernian goal. 0-0 played here at Easter Road, 16 minutes played.
Falkirk ahead at Livingston. Are they very much the team on top, Chick?
Yeah, they are, Rob. They are a goal ahead, as you said. That came after the 6th minute, and it was Kyrell Wilson with a narrow angle shot beyond the goalkeeper, Jerome Pryor. They had the ball in the net again, actually. With a header, Barney Stewart with a header. That was chopped up, I think, for offside, didn't stand. But it's been good football, and there's been a lot to appreciate about the way Livingston moving the ball as well under Marvin Bartley. They're getting the crowd going. They've played some good football, but at the moment it's still 1-0 to Falkirk.
And we're still reflecting here on that missed chance by Bruce Anderson for Kilmarnock. For all Rangers domination in the game and the perfect start as well, it really should be all square, and he will be wondering how he could possibly have missed as Raskan takes aim from 25 yards. It was pretty much straight at Kelarus, but he juggled it and he needed help in getting rid of it. And here come Rangers again with Magoma crossing from the left-hand side. Again, it's fumbled by the goalkeeper, but Roos gets there at the second attempt.
It's a really good spin from Raskin. He uses his body against, I think it's Polworth who's back trying to help out in defence. He spins him really nicely, opens up the goal for a shot. I actually thought he could have potentially drove in further, but Kelarus spills the shot, but luckily for him, Miofsky wasn't on top of him.
He should have held the shot because it wasn't that great an effort. It was straight into his body, and he should have held it, and he dropped it.
Here goes Mikey Moore again. He's looking unstoppable at the moment. It's a great pass through for Magoma. Tries the shot from the angle, saved by Roos, headed behind. Another corner kick for Rangers coming up.
Another one of those, talking about Mikey Moore in early time of his Rangers career and getting used to the environment. Magoma's another one who's got real quality, real speed, wants to attack at every opportunity. So profile a player. He's a great fullback for Rangers. I think in the last couple of months he's shown his worth, he's showed his development, and that move right there, as you can see, they're in the same page.
And he's only 19. What a prospect on loan from Brentford. Another corner for Rangers, left hand side. Tavernier to take this, he'll swing it in right-footed. Kilmarnock get a head on it, and they managed to prevent it going behind for another corner on the other side. Tyrese Jones-Jules with the clearance. Out for a throw-in. Down the Rangers' right-hand side. Diomande back to Giga. Gets it back from Raskan. Suter to man of the moment, Moore. Jinking his way again to the byline, winning yet another corner kick. Finding it really difficult to handle him, Kilmarnock.
He's so direct. You can tell he started this game the first 10, 20 minutes, and he's confident. He's going at them. His first thought's always forward. He's enjoying himself out there.
Some combination. One's 18, one's 19 down that left side for Rangers.
Scott Fry's out barking instructions for this corner. To notice Diomande is in a lot of room at the edge of the box.
Corner kick taken short between Akoma and Tavernier. It's Tavernier who plays it in from a useful angle, and Giga just couldn't quite climb high enough to get enough on the header. It glances off his head and goes wide. 1-0 Rangers.
See, just going back to that Kilmarnock chance, I think that's the biggest change I've noticed since Neil McCann's taken over. The way they play the ball, there isn't a directness as there was under Stuart Kettlewell. They do try and make the passes. Their forward players are trying to pick up positions that make it difficult for the defenders, and that's where that great chance came from.
Should he have put his foot through the chance, Rory, rather than side-footing it?
No, I think he does the right thing. He just doesn't guide it into the corner. I think he's done the right thing. He just hasn't executed it well enough, Rob.
Yeah. 1-0 Rangers, and Kilmarnock will feel it should have been 1-1. Well, I think we all feel it should have been 1-1, but here come Rangers potentially to do more damage. It was Mikey Moore again, and it was good covering across from Ethan Brown to head the ball out of play. Back with Moore again and Raskan, and Rangers shifting the ball around. Now with Giga, middle of the pitch, wide to James Tavernier. Lots of room to play the cross in. Kilmarnock defend it well enough. Rangers win it back. Raskan's flick towards Magoma. Back with Nico Raskan again. Flighted ball wide for Gassama. And it's just about the first thing that's gone wrong for Gassama. His touch lets him down. The ball slips behind for a goal kick. We've played 22 minutes at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0.
I'm not sure that's a pass Raskin needs to make. He's 30 yards for goal in the middle of the pitch, and he's trying to dink it over the defence for Gassama running onto it while the space is narrowing. I think they just need to keep. They've been good at moving the ball across the pitch quickly. I think they need to just keep doing that.
Kellerus with the free kick for Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock have lost their last 9 league games when they've come here by an aggregate scoreline of 25-4. Yellow card flushed.
He gets up so well, doesn't he? Raskin against John Jules there. The ball's kicked, and he gets up so well, and you would expect John Jules to beat him in the air, or one of the centre backs to come in and Raskin just front screen, but he gets up so well and wins the header. John Jules is booked for an elbow, which for me it's a bit harsh. He is apologising, so maybe he did catch him, but for me it was just a jump in the air to try and win a header.
One of the nice ones where you're a forward and it's a cheap shot in the defender as you try and glance the ball.
Back underway with Raskan squaring the ball towards Giga, Suter, and then wide with Mikey Moore on loan from Tottenham and starting to make a big impact. Again, Raskan in the middle of the pitch tried to fire one down the middle towards Gassama. It was again over ambitious. John Jules had it for a moment, down he goes, and maybe David Dickinson balancing things up by giving a pretty cheap free kick.
That's just another example of Raskin trying to thread a ball through the middle of the pitch when Kilmarnock are so compact. Just needs to touch the sides of the pitch. Tavernier's giving good width, Moore's giving good width. Just keep moving that's when the spaces will open up.
Robbie Dees with the free kick down the middle, knocked down towards Anderson, and he tugs his shot well wide. His chance earlier was significantly easier. 12 yards out, right in front of goal, picked out by David Watson. Should have been scoring. Are Kilmarnock going to rue that moment? Goal for Falkirk at Livingston. Chick.
Yeah, they look like they might be running right here, Rob. Actually, Livingston have been moving the ball quite well, not really created an opportunity, but it's Falkirk who are 2-0 ahead. Corner on the right hand side, whipped in, little head on at the far the near post. I think it's Barney Stewart that gets it over the line to put Falkirk 2-0 ahead.
Well, what a spell Barney Stewart is having if that is his goal. Hat-trick the other day for the former Heriot Watt student, doing great things for Falkirk, and already the Bairns look as if they're well on their way to another 3 Premiership points. What a team.
Yep, season's just going from strength to strength. Mentioning Barney Stewart, his natural instincts as a forward is fantastic. His story's fantastic, and I think he's thriving in the level he's come into and he's going to. It's great to see.
Tavernier to Gassama, takes it in really nicely, gets away from Larsson, now looks to get beyond Polworth down the right hand side, stops at the corner flag. The ball rolled inside towards Ascar. The pass wasn't great. It was an easy interception for Larsson. Here comes John Jules. Nice passing move played from Kilmarnock, really good down the left hand side. John Jules keeps it, fires the ball in, finds its way to David Watson, takes a touch, left foot shot straight at Jack Butland. Well, what a goal that would have been had that gone in, because it was some move up the pitch from Kilmarnock.
It was really good from front to back, fast flowing move. John Jules has showed really good composure a number of times in his own half. As a forward player, he's occupying that left hand side to help his team out as they pile a bank of 5 in there, and I think he's been very good. He was at the heart of that move there, and David Watson was in his left foot. You just wonder if the better option was to play it outside himself.
It definitely was, and I was going to just say that. See, when you're 10 men, and that's probably the one bit I'd say about Watson, see just improving that last wee moment, he'll take his career to the next level. But if he's got the outside running outside of him, all he needs to do is lay him in.
Flick through by Moore for Gassama, and Dees gets it away for Kilmarnock. Neil McCann will have been putting at the quality of football in the build-up to that chance for Watson. But here come Rangers again with Ascar involved and Tavernier, and now Raska on left side of the midfield.
It goes back to what Rory was saying before the game. Rangers don't look solid, and they're not going to give up chances. That's twice now. 2 great moves, but then there was the chance that Anderson has at the edge of the box, comes from just one ball forward, laid off for the striker, and he gets the shot off.
Ascar, middle of the pitch for Rangers, to Tavernier it goes, scorer of the only goal so far at Ibrox. 27 minutes gone. 1-0 for the team who want to move to within 3 points of Hearts. Nice exchange at the edge of the area, flicked in by Asgard. Kilmarnock defending it watchfully and effectively in the end, and they win a free kick finally for the challenge on Lions. It was Louis Marsh who got Falkirk's second goal. They lead 2-0 at Ammonville. Still goalless at Easter Road between Hibs and Dundee United, and it's James Tavernier's 10th of the season here. The penalty early on after Dom Thompson was sent off, but they're doing admirably at times when they get forward, Kilmarnock, with 10 men, Stephen.
They've coped well with the sending off. They've regrouped, as I said, they had to do, and they've created 2 brilliant opportunities. The second one not the best finish, but the Bruce Anderson's chance is definitely where they should be 1-1. They'll take confidence from knocking the ball about, and they're doing really well. They're being brave. They just need to take their chances when they come along.
Dees to John Jules. The ball breaks the way of Larsson. Was right back, now replacing Dom Thompson, red carded at left back. But so Kilmarnock having to reshuffle. They're a man down, but still with plenty of spirit about them and plenty of quality about them as well.
Yeah, well, Rangers started with Raskin and Diamandi in the holding midfield roles and Asgard in the number 10 role, and when the play resets they do go back to that, but in general play Diamandi pushes right up alongside Asgard and it's Raskin who's front screening, and at times for me there's a lot of players right in front of the Kilmarnock defence. You need to go back to Mikey Moore running in behind, Asgard take a gamble, running behind, create some space. There's a lot of players all in the same positions and it's playing into Kilmarnock's hands at times.
Tavernier's pass down the line, right hand side to Asgard, spins inside, goes back the way. Some sounds of frustration from the Rangers fans as Asgard went back the way rather than forward. But here's Mikey Moore, everything for him is positive, that's for sure. His pass blocked, but it goes to Tavernier. Now Raskan again looking to direct operations in the middle. Tavernier whips in a low cross. Kilmarnock struggling to deal with it. Down goes a Rangers player. Then there's the follow-up shot that's blocked. Raskan again, 30 yards from goal. Plays it right side. Tavernier back in for Raskan. Chips it in. Look, well, it was halfway between a shot and a cross from the right corner of the penalty box, and Kelleroos just waved that one goodbye as it went well wide of target.
Yeah, Rangers letting Kilmarnock off the hook again. They had them pinned at the 18-yard. They have the ball comes into the box and Asgard picks up about the 6-yard box. He's back to goal and he tries to move the ball rather than just hold it and maybe either wait till late to somebody to shoot or get a shot off himself. They lose it. It comes to Raskin. He just needs to keep the attack alive. He overhits a cross from the inside forward position and it goes out for a goal kick.
I don't know why Asgard doesn't spin and shoot, as Stephen says, one of the options there. He's just had a little bit of stick for the crowd for turning in the middle area of the pitch when he should have went forward. Turn and get yourself a goal. He puts his foot on top of the ball and tries to shift it when he could be scoring a goal.
Big appeal down below us from Neil McCann for a free kick, and David Dickinson agreeing with them. The challenge was on Bruce Anderson right on the touchline, so it will be a chance for Kilmarnock to get the ball into the box here.
That's another example of where Kilmarnock are doing well. The direct play from the goal kick is flicked on and Anderson takes it in his body, buys a foul, gives Kilmarnock a free kick 30-35 yards from goal.
Trying to work a quick one, Greg Kilty down the left hand side, but when he got the ball back from Liam Polworth, his cross under no great pressure was a big disappointment, went behind Jack Butland's goal. So they are having their moments, Kilmarnock, in this first half, and Rangers still have that work in progress about them. Giga to Tavernier, right hand side for Rangers, who lead by just that goal to nil. Now Diamandi in the middle of the pitch, 30 yards out to Raskan and square to Tavernier. Wider still is Gassama with the chance to attack Larsson. Back to Tavernier, clipped in cross, defended well by Kilmarnock, and on the follow-up the shot from Raskan is well off target.
Rangers plays just got a bit slower. Everybody's taking an extra touch. They're probably the forward players are probably losing their discipline in terms of being in the right positions to keep the speed of the play going so quickly. I think we've seen that at the start of the game. It's got a bit slower and you can hear the restlessness from the crowd because they're having to turn back and go back round and across the pitch.
They need to make the pitch big. I think if you're playing against 10 men, stretch the game. Gassama, get on the touchline, and that was working against 11 men with that one attack that they had before Thompson gets sent off. Moore, stay wide. Gassama, stay wide. Make the pitch big, and then that creates more space for others. They all want to come towards the ball and try and get involved in the middle of the pitch, and that's coming away from what was working well for them. BBC
Radio Scotland at Ibrox, and 12 minutes away from half-time. Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0. All sorts of pluses for Neil McCann and Billy Dodds and what their team are giving them here as Rangers look to add to that early Tavernier penalty. Mikey Moore curls one in, and it was Bojan Mijowski trying to get his head to it at the back post, but again Kilmarnock defending pretty well.
You mentioned there about Neil McCann and Billy Dodds. See, the one thing I can notice, there is fight in this Kilmarnock team, and now I think they've been criticised this season for it not being there, but you can see everybody understands what they have to do. They're communicating on the pitch, they're filling gaps if a teammate's not in the right position. and they've done really well since the red card, so it's definitely something to build on.
St Mirren pulled away from Kilmarnock on the back of that win against Hearts last night. It's now a 6-point gap for Kilmarnock to try to close. Not that games like tonight will necessarily define their chances of survival or of getting out of that second bottom spot. Rangers looking to build on the dream start they had to the game tonight, but so far Tavernier's goal is the only one. Meantime, 2 for Falkirk at Livingston, have them cruising, you would imagine, to another 3 Premiership points. Hibs and Dundee United unable to be separated so far at Easter Road, 0-0. Suter to Raskan.
This is an area I think Rangers miss. They miss a playmaker, they miss somebody that can find that, a Pedro Mendes, a Stephen Davis type. That Raskan's our deepest midfielder, and for me he's not got that quality or accuracy with their forward passes. This is an example of where you need that type of player.
Suter plays the ball into the box, a stooping header from Ethan Brown to get it away. Now David Watson with a driving run. Raskan gets close to him. Dees plays the ball back for Killarus to unload it up the pitch, bouncing towards Suter, and back it goes to Jack Butland. Were you surprised, Stephen, that Rangers didn't go for that player you were talking about rather than maybe bringing in another striker?
No, I think the striker's their highest priority area. I think in the coming transfer windows you'll see that recruitment, but for a team like Rangers who's going to dominate most domestically, they need that player.
Mikey Moore cuts inside. We've seen it so many times in the game already. This time a rising right footer that was never going to be hitting the target, but you do expect, Rory, something to happen just about every time he's on the ball.
Yeah, and he can go both ways, which always helps as well. It keeps the defenders guessing. So if he is wanting to cut inside and get that shot away, you know, the space isn't closed up straight away because the defender knows what he's going to do. He's went down the outside a couple of times and he's won some corners, so Brad Lyons can't get too close to him. He's got to try and anticipate where he's going to go. But to be fair, I think Brad Lyons will be quite happy if he cuts inside like that and shoots from that distance. It's going to need to be a pretty good effort to get by Roos.
Goal at Easter Road, Brian.
Yeah, 8 minutes to go to the break. It's Hibernian who make the breakthrough. Martin Boyle on target. It was played in by Scarlett onto his left foot, possibly took a deflection beyond Maynard Brewer, but the ball ended up in the top corner of the net. It's Hibernian 1, Dundee United 0.
Good play again from Kilmarnock here. Larson swings in a cross ball, but there's confusion at the back post as one Kilmarnock player leaves it to another and it bounces behind. But there are reasons to be optimistic and a little bit cheerful for Kilmarnock here, despite being a goal down. Enterprising play from them again. And just a disappointing end to another promising move.
Yeah, I think as you can see, the patterns of play and the way they're moving, not so much their structure, but they're not looking long. They're trying to connect the play, they're trying to move Rangers to then play through them, and it has done well. We've had some good chances from it.
The ball is wide right with James Tavernier for Rangers. A low bouncing ball in, and Robbie Dees had a swing at it with his left boot. It could have gone anywhere. It's sliced behind for a corner.
Yeah, and that's an example of what I was talking about. He holds his width there, Tavernier. Moore's well out on the other side, and then as soon as it goes to Tavernier, Moore makes a hair-on run to the back post, get bodies in the box, and Tavernier can deliver. For a period there, it was all going right through the middle. So I think if you're playing against 10 men, as a general rule of thumb, you want to make the pitch as big and wide as possible.
Rangers would love to get themselves 2 goals in front before the interval. We're 7 minutes away from half-time. Tavernier swings in the latest corner kick. There was a hint of a handball there, and out it went towards Magoma, who swung in a left foot shot, and Kellarus, I think, got a touch to it on its way behind. It's going to be another corner kick. VAR will, of course, look at that handball.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it maybe struck his hand, but for me, it's not a penalty kick.
No, the distance between them, they were touch tight.
So the check is already complete. So there may have been a handball, but it's certainly not going to be a penalty. In comes the latest corner kick. It's a punch from Kellerus to get it clear. And two Rangers players going for the same ball there. Gassama was going to have a crack at it. Diamondi took it off his toe. Back in it comes, and it's another pretty aimless ball into the box from a Rangers point of view, and it swings harmlessly behind for a goal kick. You can hear the howls of derision around the ground.
Yeah, it's been the story of the last 10 minutes for Rangers. Very wasteful. They're not that early first 10 minutes. They sustained attacks. They would have a cross in the box that would come out. Kilmarnock weren't able to get any territory up the pitch. But the last 10 minutes, Rangers have let Kilmarnock off the hook, and for any team at 10 men, it's a delight when you see that overhit cross, and it lets you get the team up the pitch.
Danny Rule will be really disappointed that his team haven't built on what was the ideal start to the game for them. Tyrese John-Jules is a real weapon down the left-hand side for Kilmarnock.
See, just on that, and we spoke earlier about the title race and the teams in it. This is an example of what, when I was at Rangers, you would experience this opportunity. You get an early goal when they're at 10 men. That game would end up 3 or 4, and you would dominate, and you wouldn't give the team the opposition a sniff. I'm not so sure this Rangers team's capable of that consistently. Whereas the first 10 minutes, you're thinking this could be anything in terms of scoreline.
Yeah.
But a mixture of Kilmarnock and Rangers been wasteful.
Kilmarnock free kick, and Greg Kiltie swings it into the danger zone. Robbie Dees tried to get his head to it. Rangers get it clear. Back in it comes from Brad Lyons. Then it's Giga with the clearance, which ends up again at the feet of Liam Polworth, swinging in the cross ball. Tavernier heads it away. Collected in the centre circle, and Kilmarnock work it down the right side to David Watson. His layoff again. It's really good passing and movement from Kilmarnock, looking to work an opportunity here. Fended away by John Suter in the end, and out for a throw-in close to the corner flag on the far side. Again, easy on the eye from Kilmarnock.
Yeah, the way fans showing their appreciation. You can hear shouts of Kelly coming out. They appreciate what Kilmarnock are doing right now.
In comes another cross ball. Tyrese John-Jules looked to control it in the box, not quite. Man down for Rangers, and free kick is given by David Dickinson. But you can sense the discontent in the stands at Ibrox. Despite Rangers being in front, there's an uneasy feeling that this game hasn't really progressed for Rangers from that perfect start. Tavernier plays a ball forward that is very easily cut out by Dees.
If you're Bojan Miovski, you must be tearing your hair out at times. He's not performed particularly well, and he's not been involved tonight, but the run he makes is a good one. And Tavernier, he only needs to find the space in behind the defender. You can put too much on that. He underhits it by a country mile, and Dees has got an easy header away, and he's probably going to go in the book here, Tavernier.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see how many touches Miovski's had in this first half.
We've barely mentioned him.
He's not had many touches at all. He's not the type of striker to link the play anyway. He stays away and wants to make the runs in behind. But Rangers...
He should get a touch there, though, if Tavernier's pass is better.
Yeah, he should. But he's not had many touches at all.
Kilmarnock angle the ball wide left for Larsson. Cuts inside. John-Jules thought about the shot. Inside the box he goes to strike it left-footed instead. When it was on his right foot, it looked like a much better opportunity, but he twisted onto his left, and in the end the shot was blocked and Rangers got it clear. Opportunities continuing to arrive for Kilmarnock, and Rangers seem to have got increasingly ragged as this first half has gone on.
John-Jules has been a standout for Kelly.
He looks as if he can do something himself. He's a match winner. He could get them a goal from doing his own work. He's strong, he's powerful, he's happy to take the ball in, he's intelligent with his passes.
And here he is on the ball again, left-hand side. Rolls one through towards Celtic.
And he passes it straight at the pitch for a goal kick.
Yeah, must have heard us raving about him. The ball trundles behind for a goal kick. And we're heading towards half-time at Ibrox. We're inside the 45th minute. Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0. James Tavernier's very early penalty, expertly converted after Gassama was taken out by Thompson. Down the middle it goes for Mikey Moore. Route 1 for Rangers this time. No offside flag as yet. And it's Gassama on the ball, knocks it back into the middle, and Ascar with a shot from just inside the box. Good opportunity and a pretty comfortable save for Kelarus.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you actually, actively try and look for Majowski when he makes these runs. I feel a bit sorry for him at times. Giga, picks him out. It's touch and go for offside. He looked like he timed his run well. The ball eventually ends up at Asgard, whose shot's really tame. He should probably do it far better than he does.
1 minute being added to the first 45 as Tyrese John-Jules again looks to make some progress down the left-hand side, stopped by Gassama, and the free kick goes Rangers' way. 1-0 Hibs against Dundee United, 2-0 Falkirk at Livingston, and 1-0 Rangers here at Ibrox against impressive, you would have to say, Kilmarnock, especially when you figure they've played most of this first half with 10 men. Diamonde in possession, gets it back from Raskan. Now with Tavernier to JD Gassama, back into the middle. The tumbling Diamonde couldn't control the pass. Kilmarnock's David Watson loses it as well. The last moments of this first half. Can Rangers find the so far elusive second goal? Out on the left, it is Magoma. In comes the cross ball, fielded by Majowski. Back to Magoma, his cross ball headed away by Dees, and there goes the half-time whistle, and you can hear some booing around the ground, despite the fact Rangers are in front and on track to close that gap at the top of the Premiership to 3 points behind Hearts. But it's for a large part been hugely unconvincing from Danny Rule's team after they got the perfect start when Dom Thompson fouled Gassama in the act of presumably scoring. It was certainly a goal-scoring opportunity. Thompson sent off. Tavernier scored from the penalty. Rangers looked as if they were going to run away with the game at that point, but they've become increasingly unimpressive as the game has gone on. They need to rethink it at half-time to get the goal or goals to make this game safe. And meantime, Kilmarnock have managed to create opportunities with some really good football as well, and the best of the bunch fell to Bruce Anderson when he was picked out right in front of goal, 12 yards out, and he stroked a really good effort, a really good chance wide of target. It's 1-0 Rangers at half-time, Stephen Naismith, but I think the soundtrack behind us told the story of that first half.
Yeah, first 5-10 minutes before the red card and just after it, Rangers looked great start, great goal, and right on top, and you think, right, they're going to go and enjoy this and continue to attack, continue to play at speed. Combination of Kilmarnock dealing well with the setback of the red card and the goal against, and just Rangers have made it difficult for themselves because they've played slow. They've stopped doing what they were doing at the start that got them the chances and got them the momentum and the crowd behind them, which that all turns to frustration, and then as you hear, they're getting booed off at half time when they're 1-0 up. But credit to Kilmarnock, because they're a team who are working really hard out of possession, 4-4-1. They're working for each other, but then when they have possession, they are moving it. They're willing to run forward. They're willing to ask Rangers to defend, and as you said, they've had some good chances themselves. And really, they should have Bruce Anderson should have taken that one that came to his way.
Yeah, with a little bit more composure and quality in and around the penalty box, Rory, Kilmarnock could well be on level terms here.
Yes, they could. They've shown, they've been really adventurous, and I think Neil McCann will be so frustrated that sending off happened, because he'll feel that if they had that extra man on the pitch, they would be right in this game and creating more opportunities. John Jules has been a standout on the left-hand side. David Watson has been really combative in the middle of the pitch, and they've been good, Kilmarnock, not just good as in staying in the game and holding their breath and hoping for the best. They've been participants offensively as well, and Bruce Anderson, I stand by what I said. He does everything right other than find the corner. The execution is poor, but the decision is correct, just to try and guide it into the corner. And Bruce Anderson, I would back to score that type of chance. He's a good finisher, but unfortunately for him, he just couldn't do it.
Kilmarnock will take a good deal of encouragement from their performance, even with 10 men after Dom Thompson's early dismissal. James Tavernier's penalty is the only goal of the game. Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0.
The Scottish Premiership.
Live on Sports Sound.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
A seismic Scottish Cup moment.
Home of historic neighbourhood rumbles.
And beaten their big Glasgow neighbours.
Home of scrappy underdogs and sensational upsets.
Absolute bedlam at East End Park.
Home of every heartache and every opportunity.
It is one of the biggest Scottish Cup upsets in this tournament's long history.
Sports Sound brings you the 5th round of the Scottish Cup, Saturday afternoon from 2 and Sunday from 1:30. Listen on digital radio or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland.
Yeah, thanks very much to Rob and the gang at Ibrox. The half-time score there, Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0. Let's pop round the other two venues for matches tonight in the Scottish Premiership. It's Hibernian 1, Dundee United 0 at Easter Road. Let's get a half-time report from Brian.
Yes, it is 1-0 to the home side, David. The only goal coming 7 minutes before the break. Now, fair bit of good fortune for Hibernian as well. It was Martin Boyle who eventually got the final touch. Excellent play, you'd have to say, though, by Dane Scarlett, who's led the line this evening for Hibernian. Played the ball into Boyle. Boyle's shot was on target, and it looked as if, though, the goalkeeper, Maynard Brewer, was going to collect, only for United defender Sam Clayle Harding to try and clear it with his head, and he deflected the ball beyond the goalkeeper into the top left-hand corner of the goal. Scarlett has been outstanding tonight. He set up Ellie Ewan after just 4 minutes. This Hibs striker shot just wide, and then Scarlett again with a header from an Obita corner. Again, though, just the wrong side of the target. It's not been one-way traffic, though, because United have been excellent this evening. Trapanovsky in particular, a real pest down that left-hand side and causing Hibs' new guy, the German who came in midweek, Felix Passlack, a real problem all evening. After just 2 minutes, his pace took him away from Passlack, and his shot tipped away, and he also had a free kick tipped over by Salinger. And just prior to Hibs going in front, an excellent chance, arguably the best of the evening. The corner coming in from the left-hand side. Sapsford with a free header just 4 yards out from goal, but headed the ball wide. But it's Hibs who will enjoy their half-time cup of tea more than United players. It's Hibs 1, Dundee United 0.
Thanks very much to Brian at Easter Road. Let's head now to West Lothian and hear from Chick Young. He is watching Livingston against Falkirk.
Yeah, David, 1,700 travelling Bairns fans joyous about the scoreline and the performance of their team in the first half, because Falkirk lead this game here at Amway Vale by 2-0. They were ahead as early as the 6th minute. It was a fine goal. Actually, a very narrow strike by Kirill Wilson. Ball was played over the right side, and I thought he's too narrow of a dig from that, but somehow he got it across the goalkeeper and into the back of the net to put the Bairns ahead. They had the ball in the net again. Barney Stewart with a header. I think that one was offside. There was all a bit debate about it, but anyway, it was chalked off, but it was clear at that early stage that Falkirk were really on top in this football match. They went 2-0 ahead after 26 minutes. It was Louis Marsh who got the goal, corner on the right hand side. Ball was flicked on at the near post, and Marsh and Barney Stewart went together to get it. It was Marsh who got the header and put it beyond Jerome Pryor to put Falkirk 2-0 ahead. There was one real chance, I think, in the first half. Robbie Muirhead, free kick whipped in, Robbie Muirhead at the far post. He couldn't direct his header on target, and again, Falkirk were off the hook. It's been a pretty convincing performance by John McGunn's side in this first half. Of course, they are desperate to put a bit more air between themselves and Aberdeen, who are not playing tonight, of course, in that postponement up at Pittodrie. So there's a chance for Falkirk to widen the gap with them in the rear view mirror, and indeed Dundee United as well. So far so good for John McGunn and his team. I wonder if we will see in the second half changes for Livy, and of course Scott Arfield is on the bench for Marvin Bartley in his debut match if he chooses to put him on against his old team to see if they can get a goal. But it's pretty convincing for me from Falkirk in the first half. They do lead this game here at Amwood Vale by 2-0.
Thanks, Chick. So goals in all three matches this evening at half-time. As Brian outlined there, Hibernian 1 up on Dundee United. Falkirk 2-0 up away to Livingston. And at Ibrox, it's Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0. Stephen, Michael and I were watching the penalty. Maybe we are outliers here, but we felt a wee bit sorry for Dom Thompson there, red carded so early on. It didn't look like he intended to foul Gassama in the penalty area. What's your observation?
No, obviously we're just seeing it live. I think as soon as Moore plays the pass and Gassama's got the momentum to go ahead of Thompson, I'm not sure how or where they connect, but he does clean him out. Whether it's worth a red card, obviously it's denying a goal scoring opportunity. So I think that without seeing it again, I thought straight away my instinct was that's going to be a red card. But it's a nightmare start for Kilmarnock because you've worked on what you want to do with 11 players, and then when you're down to 10 so quickly and lose a goal. But they reacted really, really well.
Michael, you and I are poring over the rules, and I think we've kind of come to the...
No, by the letter of the law just now, it falls as a red card, but I think it probably comes in a bit of a grey area in regards to the actual wording of the law. That it talks about if you making a genuine attempt for the ball, obviously it's the double jeopardy where when a team is given a penalty kick you wouldn't be sent off, you'd only be cautioned. Now he's not genuinely tried to play the ball because he was nowhere near the ball, but he's not tried to tackle the player. It's a collision and a coming together. It's a penalty kick, no doubt about it, but I think it probably falls in a bit of a middle ground and a bit of a grey area with regards to the meaning of the law is to try to take away the double punishment for a player who's not deliberately tried to foul an attacker, and that feels like it's the classic case of an attacker gets across the face of the defender. There's not a great deal the defender can do, and he's ended up bringing them down. And probably as the letter of the law is at the moment, it's a red card, but it feels like it sort of falls in the middle ground where it doesn't really sit with either, as it is worded at the moment, personally.
Yeah, so Rangers won ahead about 6 minutes into the game. Rory, I suppose one might have expected them to go on and increase the lead, but Kilmarnock have had chances of their own, a couple of good ones.
Yes, they have, and I think you hear a few boos at half time. I think the problem is when Danny Rule first came in, he mentioned winning, and he's managed to do that, but I think given how long he's been in charge now, the fans are expecting a little bit more in terms of performance. There's nothing that says that you have to win playing a certain way. He's made a few signings now as well. I think they're just looking for a little bit more, but credit to Kilmarnock for not allowing them to do that. They've caused their own problems at times, Rangers, but Kilmarnock have been really good. They passed the ball about well, and it would have been really interesting to see had they kept Dom Thompson on the pitch, whether they could have hurt Rangers further. Anderson should score. I don't expect everybody to score from that position, but I expect Bruce Anderson to score from the cutback. David Watson's got forward well. as I've said before, John Jules on this left-hand side has been excellent, but I think from Rangers' perspective, they're at the stage now where, yes, of course they want to win every game, but they want to see a little bit more entertainment, and I don't think that's given the money that's been spent and the new signings that come in and the amount of time Danny Rowe's been in, I don't think that's an unreasonable ask.
Are you not entertained, Stephen? Sounding all Russell Crowe.
I would say frustrated at times as a forward and seeing the opportunities that you could have. You're sitting frustrated with some of the wasteful passing, especially from Rangers. And for Kilmarnock, Kilmarnock are right in this. I think it's going to be the first 15 minutes will be interesting from a Rangers point of view. If nothing changes much, I'm pretty sure you'll see a few of their new signings on the pitch. But this should have been having Kilmarnock backs to against the wall, attack after attack after attack, and that's not been the case.
So what do you think Neil McCann will be saying to Kilmarnock players in the dressing room? It's always I always think it's an interesting point to see what you former pros think the bosses will be saying.
Not too much different to what they've been doing on the pitch. I think the small details of Bruce Anderson taking the chance, the one that Watson comes inside the pitch and he's got an overlap, and if he slips the guy in, he's in on goal. These wee details are massive in the game in general, but see when you're in 10 men and your chances are going to be limited, they're so important, and they're the ones that Kilmarnock have not taken. He'll be saying, if you get these chances in the second half, make sure we take them, because then the crowd will turn. The longer the game goes, they'll be more anxious, and you just never know what could happen. Is there
a sense of uneasiness among the home fans, do you think, Rory?
No, I just think they expect a little bit more now. As I said, yes, if they could go on and win this 1-2-0, and that is, great in terms of keeping pace at the top of the league. But you want to see signs now from Danny Rowe's team that they can. You're going to come here and be entertained. You're going to enjoy the game, enjoy watching it. It's so slow at times and so pedestrian, but for weeks and weeks now they've done enough to get over the line.
See, on that point, you're at home against 10 men. Roos hasn't had loads and loads to do, and that's the thing that I think you're saying here, that you'd expect the fans to have seen more goal action for Rangers.
I just think the balance is now tipped from, yes, it's we need to win games, to no, we need to win in a certain way, we need to play better football, and there's no better chance than here against 10 men. And I just think it's underwhelming so often from a Rangers point of view. I think they've been poor in that first half after the opening 10-15 minutes, and Kilmarnock could have been back in it, but I just think the fans are expecting more in terms of the output of the team.
Michael, they'll be happy enough, Rangers fans going home tonight, should they stay on top, whether it's 1-0 or 4-0. They're going to be 3 points behind Hearts.
Yeah, absolutely, you can point towards that, but I think the guys are right that there is just underlying amongst all that is this sort of expectation of a little bit more in terms of performance. Now, you can always point at the result, and the result is the most important thing, but I think when you look at it over a longer period of time, you're looking for a bit more substance as to how those results are coming about, because I think if Rangers, and I suppose it's a big if Rangers were to have a couple of games where the results weren't what they were looking for, then I think it would all of a sudden bring a lot more negativity, because then you get the people coming on the back of it of performances haven't been good enough either recently, even though they've been picking up points.
Yeah, good performance from Falkirk, 2-0 up away to Livingston. Michael, we've been watching pictures of that one in the studio. It's a pretty, very disappointing start to Marvin Bartley's managerial career. They fell behind very, very early on, and Falkirk have had more chances to put that game to bed. Yeah,
and there was another goal that was disallowed for offside as well. So I mean, look, it's been a bit of a chastening first half for Livy and for Marvin Bartley in charge. I mean, as I said before, I'm just not sure that this is what you would regard as an actual change or a new voice.
All right, Michael, we'll leave it there for now. We're heading back to Ibrox, the second half. Rob?
Yeah, the Rangers fans are wondering if they might see a change or a couple of changes going into the second half from their team, but it is same again, same personnel as started, and Kilmarnock with the same 10 that they finished the first half. Neil McCann and Billy Dodds will be pretty pleased with what they've got from their team, and had Bruce Anderson taken that big chance, it could well have been 1-1 at this stage. Rangers in front, but they've got to be feeling, they've got to be playing a whole lot better to get the job done here. 1-0 up as they are, and Mikey Moore looking as if he's going to start the second half very much the same way he started the first, lively immediately. And Magoma gets involved, and Diomande just runs a pass into the box from when he looked as if he was going to take the shot on, trying to play it in for Mikey Moore instead. Didn't quite come off, but Livingston have a goal back early. Second half as a shot is flushed past here by Giga, and it stays 1-0. But check Livingston back in the game.
Well, they are, Rob. It's absolute chaos. A corner kick from Robbie Muirhead, which comes in the right-hand side. There's an unbelievable scramble in the box. A Falkirk player goes down. I'm not sure who it is. He's still getting treatment, and the ball is scrambled into the net. To be honest with you, I'm not quite sure who got it into the net as well. But the one thing I can definitely tell you is it's now 2-1 to Falkirk. We're trying to settle all this down. The Falkirk players were claiming A for offside and B for a foul on the player who's still getting treatment down there. But in any case, the goal is going to stand, I think, 2-1 to Falkirk.
Yeah, big lift for Marvin Bartley's team. Early in the second half at Amanville, they needed that badly. 2-1 Falkirk, 1-0 Hibs against Dundee United, and still 1-0 here at Ibrox. On the ball, Raskan. Through it goes to Gassama. Right-hand side, Tavernier attacking down that flank alongside him. Now shuttled across towards Suter, and Magoma left side. The left back jinking his way towards the byline. Magoma, can he deliver? He certainly can. Low, lots of pace on it. Brad Lyons manages to divert it behind for a corner kick.
Just sitting looking at the Rangers team and thinking what the manager will be thinking at half time. He'll want more from Asgard, Gassama, Miovski. He needs more for these guys in this second half.
An early second half corner kick for the home team, a goal up. As usual, it's Tavernier and Magoma over it. And now edge of the box for Diomande. And Kelly Roos always happy that it was curling well wide of target, comfortably wide of target, as we head back to check at Livingston.
Yeah, it's McLennan's got the goal back for Livingston. That was the goal scorer. There's been a bit of treatment in the back. They went to a VAR inquiry actually after that. Eventually it's been cleared. They will have the goal. It was absolute chaos. It was Conor McLennan who eventually got it over the line. Falkirk are back. The game's restarted, back to 11 players on the park. Controversial circumstances, but the goal does stand, and it's down to Conor McLennan. 2-1 to Falkirk at the moment.
Yeah, Livingston could certainly do with getting something out of that game, as down goes Bruce Anderson in the middle of the pitch, and a free kick is given by David Dickinson.
These are all really good chances for Kilmarnock to work something and create a chance at the end of it.
Not much angle on this, right in the middle of the playing surface. Can they get some joy, Kilmarnock, from this set piece in towards Dees beyond the back post, and Kilmarnock have forced the corner.
Yeah, well, John Suter just takes a swipe at it, totally mishits it, and it goes out for a Kilmarnock corner. Quite a cheap one to give away, Stephen.
It was, and it just again it changes the angle of the ball coming into the box, but it's Kilmarnock are keeping this attack alive.
Which what you spoke about, you know, maintaining attacks. They've managed to do it a few times throughout the game.
Yep, their decision making as a team's been good.
Greg Kilty with the corner kick, out swinging. Suter gets his head to it, powers it away. Back in from David Watson on the half volley. It's an up and under. Robbie Dees trying to get under it, not dealt with. And Kilmarnock have a chance here from the angle, scrambled away in the end. And Rangers living dangerously.
Again, comes out the box, the initial cross is cleared. Watson just helps it back in, maintaining the attack, asking Rangers to defend, and they're keeping this attack alive.
Still very dangerous opposition for Rangers. Unconvincing from the home team. The ball is with Ethan Brown on halfway. To the right side it goes. Skipper Brad Lyons. The 20-year-old Ethan Brown. Back out for Lyons, who's slotted in at right back since the dismissal of Dom Thompson early on in the game, with Shinning Larsson moving over to the other side of the defence for Kilmarnock. Rangers attacking with Tavernier in behind for Gassama, and he pulls it across goal, and it's behind Bojan Miovski, frustratingly for the striker.
Mikey Moore's got to be following up at the back post, and you're expecting Asgard as the number 10 to be right behind Miovski waiting for that ball. That's a good ball.
Asgard to Moore. Back with Asgard from an angle. Can he score? He cuts it back. It goes a begging again. Back in from Tavernier, fended away, not convincingly. Diamonde on his left foot, then on his right. The shot blocked. In goes Watson with a diving challenge in the middle to win it. Greg Kilty works it inside towards Anderson. Bruce Anderson takes a heavy touch, and the ball flies out for a throw.
Unbelievable. Moore again driving inside the pitch. He slips the ball to Asgard. I actually think he makes the right choice for squaring it, but he squares it just behind Miovski, who's not expecting him to square it, and then there's nobody there to finish it.
I disagree. I think he's just got to...
If they're two players on the same page, that's a tap in. That's 100% goal.
I don't disagree with that, but I don't know why Asgard doesn't just bend it in the corner. He can see the corner.
Mikey Moore trying to do more damage, and he does really well again, getting to the byline, whipping a ball into the 6-yard box. Kilmarnock scramble it behind. Well, Mikey Moore couldn't be doing much more here to try to add to Rangers' advantage.
The one thing he could have done was be in at the back post for that cross.
Well, he could have done, but we're right on the angle. I'm thinking just open your right foot up and put it in the corner. He's got the ability to do it, but he chooses to try and pass it.
Yeah, I'm thinking he wants the easier option to score a perfect goal. He just make it two, but the players aren't on the same page, which makes it.
Here's the latest Rangers corner kick in from Tavernier, headed away by Bruce Anderson, collected by Gassama for Rangers. Cuts inside, 30 yards from goal. Now with Mikey Moore, curled in towards the back post area, and it just bounces away in the end from John Suter and behind for the goal kick.
At the start of the game, we talked about Moore and Magoma linking up really well. See Rangers' front four players, they're not on the same page.
No,
that's an issue, because that's predominantly the guys that you normally have on the same page that you can see linking up. That exact chance for Asgard, he either, if they thinks he should be shooting, or they should anticipate that he's going to square and it's going to be a tap in. But Rangers front four have definitely not had that connection as a unit.
Yeah, they don't seem able to read what one another is up to at any point in time, which is rather important where you're trying to combine for a goal, as they should have done just a couple of moments ago. Still, James Tavernier's early penalty is the only goal of this game. We've played about 54 minutes at Ibrox, and Kilmarnock still very much in it, the 10-man team. Brown to Dees on the halfway line. Took a heavy touch, Robbie Dees, but he did manage to get the pass away to Shinning Larsson. The Estonian international cuts inside, loses the ball, stays down, and Rangers sweeping forward with Gassama on the ball, and he takes a pretty atrociously heavy touch, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. Danger over for the moment for Kilmarnock.
Another missed opportunity. Rangers had 6 players driving at Kilmarnock's back four, and Gassama tries to take his man on 1v1 and hits it for 30 yards for goal at the pitch, behind for a goal kick. Again, Kilmarnock actually do well. They narrow up and force Rangers into that.
Killarus to take the goal kick. Hasn't had to produce a wonder save so far, Killarus, which tells you something about what Rangers haven't been able to come up with. We're 10 minutes into the second half. 1-0 for the Premiership chasers, looking to close the gap at the top. Screams from the Rangers fans for a A foul against Kilmarnock as Tyrese John-Jules is claiming he was held back as he tried to get on the end of a long ball down the middle for Kilmarnock. Rangers work it to Mikey Moore again, left-hand side, corner of the penalty box. Heading back, now cuts in, central, 25 yards out, tries to find Diamonde. Diamonde with his shot at goal. It's well read by Kelarus, and he dives early to make the save.
Yeah, they actually worked that one really well. Moore again at the heart of it. He finds a good pass through to Diamande. He tries to find the far corner with his left foot. Kelarus, reads him and gets down early and holds on to the ball. So good move by Rangers, but good save from Kelarus. Yeah,
good save. Terrible kick out from him, and lucky to get away with it. Kilmarnock have it with Larsson. Back it goes towards Robbie Dees. Has to hurry into the midfield. Hefty touch and the ball lost. And here goes Diamonde, who angles a pass left towards Mikey Moore, chasing the ball towards the corner flag. Now looks to attack Ethan Brown, plays the ball back to Magoma. Now with Raskan. Square for Tavernier. Right down the middle it goes. Kilmarnock tried to get it clear. Asgard looking to pick up the pieces. His shot is blocked. It's a scramble at the moment. Right side now for Gassama. Rangers looking to hunt down a second goal of the game. Raskan starts things off again in the midfield. Goes wide right to Gassama. At the corner of the box, tries the left foot cross. It was pretty obvious, and Tyrese John-Jules blocked it. And Rangers are now back on halfway with Giga. Raskan alongside him. Gassama looking to spin away, but Polworth wins it back for Kilmarnock. Rangers will try again. In it comes towards Miovski, feeds it back out wide. Raskan pulls the ball back to Diamonde, 30 yards from goal. Works a 1-2, now at the edge of the box. Stops, puts his foot in the ball, turns it inside, and it's Bojan Miovski who sweeps a left footer low inside the post. Kelarus is beaten, and surely Rangers are now on their way to getting the win they want to close the gap at the top of the Premiership. 2-0.
Great finish. Diamandi's had about 3 shots for outside the box, and everyone has not troubled the goalie. Miovski, as that's building up, runs out the box to link the play, and he ends up in the position Diamante has, 25 yards from goal. It's laid to him, and he just does what a great finisher does, is place it into the corner. No chance for the goalie.
I reckon he took one look at the bench, seen Nadiri was stripped, ready to come on, and thought, I need to get my finger out here, and he wraps it into the bottom corner. It's a really good finish, and some incessant pressure was starting to build up from Rangers as that goal went in. It's a long way back for Kilmarnock now.
2-0 Rangers, and 2 Rangers substitutes on the way. Andreas Sko Olsen is going to be coming off the bench.
Gassama's not happy, Rob.
I'm not sure. I said just after half-time, he's one of the players that needs to do more. He's had 3 attempted crosses in the last 5 minutes, that every one of them get blocked, so I don't think he can have too many grumbles about getting taken off.
Max Aarons is coming on as well for Rangers. Kilmarnock are going to make a change as well. Telo Asgard makes way. The first Rangers appearance for Ryan Naderi, chased by the club during the January transfer window. Eventually signed for the best part of $5 million from Hansa Rostock. Great things expected of him, and Rangers complete their hat-trick of changes.
When you're a new signing coming to Rangers, there's probably not a better situation to make your debut. 2-0 up against 10 men.
Do you think it would have been Miovski had he not tucked that one away?
No, I don't think so. I think he'd done just enough compared to the other Gassama and Asgard to stay on the pitch.
What he has managed to do is get Rangers into a 2-0 lead, and the Rangers fans feeling a whole lot more comfortable now, because they were running the risk of Kilmarnock coming back at them. Here goes the goal scorer, Miovski, no way past Ethan Brown. Back it goes for Kelarus to clear. A booming header from John Suter on halfway. Ethan Brown responds and sends it into the Rangers half. Late challenge on Suter. Let's head for Easter Road and an update from Brian.
Yeah, it's still 1-0 to the home side here. Martin Boyle with the goal after 38 minutes, but United close to an equaliser within seconds of the restart. Trapanovsky with the cross, Sapford with the flick just wide of goal, but just seconds ago Martin Boyle with the header off the crossbar after a great cross by Paslak into the 18-yard box. It's still low. Hibernian 1, Dundee United 0, 58 in the clock, Rob.
And still 2-1 Falkirk at Livingston, Chick.
Yeah, Rob, Wilson and Marsh, remember putting the Bairns 2-0 ahead at half-time. Looked very, very comfortable indeed, but it's a different Livy. We've seen in the second half they got one back after just 2 minutes of the second half. They're on the break here, actually. They've got players forward. Muirhead's making a run into the box, maybe held up a little bit, and then there was that goal Conor McLennan scored to make it 2-1, and it was Liam Henderson who was down inside the box for a long time. They claimed he was injured in the instant. Barr said play on, the goal stood, and it's 2-1 at the moment. But I tell you what, Livy are getting themselves right back into the game, and now Scott Arfield has come on as a sub to try and get a goal against his old club. It's Livy 1, Falkirk 2 at the moment.
Groans here at Ibrox, a sloppy moment for Rangers, and Kilmarnock on the attack with Larsson, who plays the ball in, and almost a chance for Kilmarnock to get a goal back.
Really good work down the left-hand side. It comes actually from Moore giving a slack pass. He's drifted into the centre mid position, gave a slack pass, and Kilmarnock have attacked down the left-hand side, but Kilty ends up managing to get in at the back post. McGoma's high and wide, so he's never been able to recover. Larsson puts a great ball across, and it's just out the reach of Kilty, who was at the back post, and he was unlucky.
Off comes Bruce Anderson for Kilmarnock. Joe Hugill replacing him, the former Manchester United player. He will replace him in the main attacking position. Aaron Tishbola came on a few moments ago for Kilmarnock as well. His fourth spell with the club. So he's come off the bench just a couple of minutes after Bojan Miovski scored that left footer. It's his 9th goal for Rangers. That total is helped by his hat-trick against Annan, as a long ball downfield finds Hugill in possession, right side of the box. Didn't have much in the way of support. His cutback was blocked and the ball bounced straight back to him, and here he is again on the touchline, looking to make something happen for Kilmarnock. 2 down. Hugill flashes the ball across goal, but it's too close to Jack Butland, who wraps his gloves around it.
Kilmarnock are really good at working chances. They've shown this whole game. They've got good movement, good forward runs.
Rangers on the attack, but not for the first time in the match. A breakdown in communication. This time it was Schoolson and Tavernier who looked as if they hadn't been introduced, and the pass goes astray.
It's a really poor pass. You know, he doesn't seem to have the pace to go by a man, Scov Olsen. He cuts inside, so you're looking maybe for him to link up, and his pass to Max Arns on the outside is so overhit you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty underwhelming so far from the Danish international.
I do think that coming into a club in January is tough, and again we touched at this at the top of the show. It's what guys can come in and enjoy the environment and enjoy the fight in the title race that are probably going to be the difference in the team that wins the league this season.
The Kilmarnock physios are on. Not sure who that is, who's down right at the far corner
I think
flag,
it's Larsson.
right in front of the Killie fans.
That last attack, he bombed up the left, put the ball across for Kilty, and as he get back up, he was feeling his hamstring, so I think it's doubtful that he'll continue.
The rest of the players, meantime, taking on some fluids at the moment. It's a 9th goal then, Rory, for Bojan Mijovski, but hasn't really set the heather alight, has he, overall? 9 seems a decent total.
It does seem a decent total, but the problem you've got is when you're at a club like Rangers is that you can't do it in fits and starts. You can't score 2 goals at Rugby Park and then your next fixture against Kilmarnock, you're dipping in and out with goals, and it needs to be consistent. You need to get your 1s, 2s and 3s in games like this and get those numbers up to get here 20-25 a season, because if Mijovski wants to be the main man in this team, ultimately you need to get 20 plus goals a season as a Rangers striker. So whilst 9's not a bad return, it's probably not a great return either for the chances he's had.
So a debut for Ryan Naderi, also a debut for Rangers for Tour Rommens, the Belgian under-21 international left back, who has just replaced Jayden Migoma. The back heel from Naderi. Mikey Moore racing towards the byline. Cross comes Robbie Dees to do the defending, stops it going for the corner and whips it out for the throw. And isn't too happy that he had to cover across to stop Moore getting that ball in.
Just to add to your point there, Rory, again though, Rangers as a team don't create loads and loads of chances for their forwards. If you think of the amount of chances Dessers had when he was here and he got criticised for the misses he had, now Rangers don't create anywhere near the chances they did in the time Dessers was here.
Zach Williams on for Kilmarnock, replacing the injured Olsen. Throw in for Rangers, left-hand side, taken by Rommens. Now with Diomande. Rommens with the cross ball, decent curling effort towards the back post, defended by Zach Williams. His first involvement, looks to get the ball away, get himself out of a tight situation. Rangers a lot more comfortable now with that 2-goal advantage. Mijovski 25 yards out, thought about another shot at goal. That was pretty much from where he scored. Now he's on the byline to cut the ball back. Ethan Brown forces it behind. Corner kick coming up.
It's just becoming a little bit more difficult for Kilmarnock now, and they'll look up at the clock. At 1-0, you're thinking the way we're playing, we'll carve out an opportunity, but at 2-0 down, and it's just wave after wave of attack at this moment in time. Rangers have got fresh legs on the pitch as well, which isn't helping Kilmarnock. It could be a long 22 minutes for them.
68, yeah, on the clock, Rory, and 2-0 Rangers against Kilmarnock. And this corner kick for Killie to defend, taken short to Skå-Olsen, back with Rommens into the middle for Diomande, now to the byline for Andreas Skå-Olsen, fired across goal, and Brad Lyons protecting at the near post, stops it getting into the danger zone, whips it out for a throw-in instead. Winning 25, Tour Rommens flings it into the box, Killie get it clear. Tisbola hits the deck pretty effectively to win a free kick, as he was going nowhere at the time. It was free kick is given midway inside the Rangers half. James Tavernier's penalty and Bojan Mijovski's 9th goal for Rangers, making the difference here. Long way back for 10-man Kilmarnock, having done lots of good things in the game. But Rangers have their sights set on narrowing that gap at the top of the Premiership to 3 points off the back of Hearts losing in Paisley last night. Forward it goes from Keller Roos up to the edge of the Rangers penalty box. And now Rangers look to counter. The ball clipped over the top from Mikey Moore. Cuts inside away from Brad Lyons and fires it towards the right side of the box. Just a little bit too much on it.
I think he looks a bit tired. Mikey Moore, Rob, in the last 5-10 minutes, he's been Rangers' most creative spark most of the night, but he's given the ball away a few times cheaply. He's overhit that one. I wonder how much time he's got left out there.
The Rangers fans will be hoping there might be a debut goal for Ryan Naderi, the latest acquisition right at the end of the January transfer window. Brad Lyons flicks the ball on for Kilmarnock. David Watson scrapping for it. Raskan has it. Max Aarons.
That's an example there when Aarons picks the ball up in the centre circle and he's got 10 yards in front of him. Miofsky makes a run and he's not even looked. He's played a square pass across the pitch, which then has allowed Kilmarnock to get back in and defend.
Tyrese John Jules plays it back. Kilmarnock try to work it up that left side. 71 minutes.
It's just a difficult period for Kilmarnock. It's getting tougher. They've put a lot into the game, but they just need to try and create another couple of chances to keep the feeling that they can get something out of this game. But
yeah, there'll be what ifs coming off the back of this for them. What if they'd taken that big first half opportunity, and there were others as well. The golden chance fell to Bruce Anderson, and you expected him to nail it. Tishbola with the pass. Good defending from John Suter. Calm and composed, strong on the ball. Aarons plays it wide for Scott Olsen. Rolled inside towards Diamonde. Tried the disguised pass to find Mikey Moore. Now it's Miofsky. Turned inside by Romans. And the Scott Olsen shot is saved by Kellerus.
He doesn't get enough angle on it, Scott Olsen, to try and find that corner. It's not dissimilar to Bruce Anderson's chance in the first half. It's a good move by Rangers. Romans lifts his head and picks him out. Gets a good connection on it, but it's one you'd expect Kellerus to save.
Yep, either side it was in, but it was pretty much straight at the former Aberdeen goalkeeper. Naderi making a pretty strong challenge on Brad Lyons, just underneath us. Out for a throw-in on halfway for Kilmarnock, 10-man Kilmarnock. They've been down to 10 since the opening minutes when Dom Thompson was red-carded. Here go Rangers again. The blue shirts are flooding forward. Good defensive challenge from Zach Williams. The ball spinning out towards the corner flag, left-hand side, kept alive by Mikey Moore. Waiting for movement. Romans on the overlap. The ball is blocked. Mikey Moore squares it. Ryan Naderi on his... In fact, it's Scott Olsen who finishes for Rangers and makes it 3. Andreas Scott Olsen, who's had a faltering start to his Rangers career, and the new boys combining Romans with the cutback initially from the left-hand side, and it's Andreas Scott Olsen who makes it 3.
Yes, Romans has lifted his head a few times from that position and picked players out, and he's been very good since he's come on. And Scott Olsen's finish, I have to say, this time is of a very high quality. He's cut back to his left foot and he just takes the pace out of the ball almost, but he floats it into the far corner. Kellerus's weight is all going the other way, and at 3-0 down, Kilmarnock, I think, are out of this one now for sure.
Roman's timing of his forward runs is excellent. That's 3 times. 3 times he's just timed it on perfectly. The ball to him. He's had 2 efforts that have been blocked at the near post. And also, I think on Olsen, I think that's his profile. He's not a winger that's 1v1 in tackling. I think he's somebody who wants to connect. It's similar to Moore, and he'll always arrive in the box, and he showed a right good bit of composure there for that finish.
There is a VAR check. There was a VAR check, which is now over. They were queuing up to put that one in. I thought for a moment it was Naderi, but it was Scott Olsen getting his first goal for Rangers. And the home team are now cruising towards all 3 points as Oliver Antman steps off the bench and Danny Rule rings the changes.
Yeah, Mikey Muir's not getting a rest. It looks like he'll probably play through the middle when Naderi now, and Antman will come on and play off the left.
On the ball, Tishbola, surrounded by blue shirts. Diamonde wins it. Mikey Moore forward for Scott Olsen with the back heel for Naderi. Rangers almost try to walk it into the back of the net. Antman involved as well. Well, this scoreline could get bigger. Antman, left side of the box, squares it. Diamonde, Romans cuts it back, fended away by Kilmarnock, rescued by Raskan. Romans again rolls it in behind for Oliver Antman. Kilmarnock wary of making a challenge, back out of the box, and Raskan lifts it up towards the back post. Now comes Kellerus to claim it.
I would just keep feeding Romans the ball, because he's got a calmness in that penalty box width of trying to pick out the right pass. He's a real threat.
It's taken them a couple of weeks to get him match sharp, ready to go, but he certainly looks impressive already off the bench for Rangers. Back to Easter Road, a goal for Brian.
A goal for Dundee United with 17 minutes left in the clock. A corner in from the right-hand side. The Hibs defence failed to clear, and there was captain Ross Graham to hammer the ball into the roof of the net. It's been on the cards for the last few minutes. It's now Hibernian 1, Dundee United 1.
All square at Easter Road, 2-1 Falkirk at Livingston, 3-0 Rangers at Ibrox. 3 goals, and it's going to be 3 points to take Danny Rule's team within 3 of Hearts at the top. Celtic not involved tonight. Their match at Pittodrie off due to a waterlogged pitch. Dundee Motherwell didn't make it either after St Mirren got an important win last night and denied Hearts anything at Paisley. Here come Rangers again. There's an appetite for more goals here. Diamonde to Antman, left hand side, cuts in. Diamonde on his right foot tried to curl it towards the top corner, but well off target.
Yeah, Antman's got to be more aware of the picture around him. He takes the ball in well, but Romans is right behind him, bombing down the outside of him. All it requires is a little pass down the left hand side, and Romans is pretty much clean in on goal.
12 minutes to go plus stoppage time, and the Kilmarnock fear will be that this scoreline could get a lot heavier.
Yeah, it's unfair in Kilmarnock because they've put so much into the game, and I'm pretty certain in the coming days Neil McCann will be showing the positives, because there's loads of positives as much as they're 3-0 down. And for Rangers, the last 15 minutes is how they should have continued on after the first 15 minutes of the first half, but there's a lot to like now about a few of the signings for Rangers.
He's in this time.
Antman rolls it in front of Romans, and he just couldn't get the ball gathered for the shot at goal. Ethan Brown scrambles it behind for the corner kick.
Yeah, lovely crossfield pass from Scott Olsen as well. That goal's done him the world of good. He had a lovely wee touch layoff just after it as well, so that seems to have lifted him slightly.
Scored a couple of goals early on in the season for Wolfsburg before dropping out of contention with the German team. Maybe a goal is what he needs just to get him going here. Scott Olsen from the short corner, combining with Romans. Back into the middle with Diamonde. Antman is there. Rangers at the moment doing pretty much as they please. Max Aarons and Diamonde exchanging passes. Kilmarnock pressure, and back it goes to Butland. And back out to the Belgian, to Romans again. Left hand side. And wayward back pass from Scott Olsen, which has Jack Butland way out of his penalty box to collect. Gives it to Giga, then into the middle of the pitch for Scott Olsen, who's popping up everywhere at the moment. Aarons scurries forward. Scott Olsen to Romans, and wide left is Antman. Again attacking with the ball, jinking into the box. Romans goes on the outside. Antman unable to find him, but Brad Lyons turning back into trouble. Naderi wins it. Antman cuts it back. Mikey Moore rolls it to the edge of the area. Diamonde is there. Now Raskan. Tishbola with a challenge. Raskan still going. Whips the ball across goal. Ethan Brown sliding into the 6-yard box to hook that away.
Naderi's work rate's infectious. That's about 3 times he's chased. His initial reaction's excellent, and it's kept attacks alive for Rangers.
Moore squares it to Aarons, clipped into the box looking for Romans, and Kilmarnock doing enough to stop Rangers that time.
Antman's minutes have been so limited that I think he feels he needs to do something. He needs to grab a goal, he needs to get an assist, he needs to do something really eye-catching. It's almost like he's fallen so far out of favour at times that, you know, he wants to make an impression in the game, and it's just causing him to make rash decisions. Understand why, because he's desperate to do something, but at times he's looking a little bit rushed. He's giving the ball away.
Danny Rule's so animated in the technical area, he's almost playing the game himself down there, but his team is certainly moving a whole lot better in the last 15-20 minutes. Mikey Moore holds off a challenge in the centre circle and drives down the middle, jinking his way to the edge of the box, and the ball breaking the way of Naderi, and a free kick is given against the German striker.
Moore does excellent again in the middle of the pitch. He rolls Watson, driving at the back four, and he probably makes the wrong choice this time in trying to dribble his way through, rather than just taking advantage of the movement he's done and making a pass.
He's one of these players, Mikey Moore, that seems to run quicker with the ball, because he doesn't strike you as a fast player, but then you see him turn like that, and his first 2-3 yards, he can take off.
Yeah, he can. He goes at speed with the ball.
In the 83rd minute at Ibrox, Rangers 3, Kilmarnock 0. BBC Radio Scotland, Hibs 1, Dundee United 1, Livingston 1, Falkirk 2. The 3 Premiership games ongoing tonight. Kilmarnock getting themselves up the pitch and getting a little bit of respite as well, because it's been all about defending for them in the last 15-20 minutes, as the attacks have come wave after wave from Rangers. Let's check up on Easter Road. 1-1 last we were there, Brian.
Still the case, Rob, with 10 minutes left to play. Hibs under the cosh a little bit, you'd have to say. United are really throwing the kitchen sink at Hibs in the second half, and here comes another cross into the box down the left hand side.
What a blunder here by Jack Butland, and he's gifted a goal to Kilmarnock. The ball was passed back to him, he had a swing and a miss, and it's a tap in for Greg Kiltie.
It's a throw in deep in Rangers half. Aarons goes back to Jiga, who's just outside the 18-yard box, plays the ball inside to Butland, but he's under pressure. Kilmarnock have pushed up, and it goes across Butland's body. He tries to hit with his right, and he kind of sclaffs it and just falls into the path of Kiltie, who taps it in.
Back to Easter Road, Brian.
And it's another goal for Dundee United, and another corner the Hibs defence failed to deal with. Again, it was the back post. This time it was substitute Max Waters, who's only been on the pitch a matter of minutes, nodded the ball down. It looked as if Salinger got his foot to it, but he just couldn't keep the ball out of the back of the net. And it's now Hibernian 1, Dundee United 2.
So that's all turned around at Easter Road. Hibs were a goal up, and now they're 2-1 down into the closing stages against Dundee United. 2-1 United, 2-1 Falkirk, 3-1 Rangers at Ibrox after that gift of a goal for Greg Kiltie. Here goes Joe Hugill, right side of the box. Had a go at picking out the inside of the far post, he dragged it wide.
it was a tough angle, that one, for Hugel, but the goalkeeper's just made a really bad error. Just get it on target, ask the question of him.
What I would say is, as much as Butland makes a mistake, Giga's got to have a bit of pass appreciation to your goalie who's taking it on the wrong foot.
Tries to come across it with his right to play it out to the left-hand side, but it's not a great pass back.
Makes the scoreline look a little bit better for Kilmarnock. Greg Kilty scoring. Out it comes from Butland to Romans. Inside for Naderi, his layoff towards Antman. Now Diomande on the halfway line and Waskan. Here go Rangers again with Scott Olsen. Aarons overlapping. Puts it back in front of Andreas Scott Olsen. His curling left footer into the box. Nodded down by Romans. A miscue from Diomande at the edge of the area. And it all fizzles out for Rangers, having looked again pretty promising.
Romans has been excellent, he really has. Scott Olsen's been very good since he's come on as well. After his goal, he spots two Romans at the back post there. I thought he was going to hit it in the volley at one point, but he chooses to lay it off.
The both of them have made good decisions. See, when they're getting good areas, they've decided even there, Romans knocks the ball down for Diomande to get a better opportunity on goal than what he would have had at the back post. It's encouraging signs for especially they two.
Yeah, looks a serious capture, doesn't he, to Romans. He's got height about him. He's maybe 6'1" or 2 at left back, and loves to get forward, and he's made a big contribution in the short time that he's been on the pitch, and he's a good age as well at 21. Looks a good signing. Back the ball goes to Butland. Takes much more care of it this time. It was a bit of a more standard pass back to deal with, having blundered earlier and set up a goal for Greg Kilty. Consolation though for Kilmarnock, that's all it is, as the ball is played forward by Raskan. Cleared only as far as Ryan Naderi, his shot blocked. Aarons on the overlap, whips one in. You can see how keen Ryan Naderi is here to get on the end of something and get his first Rangers goal, get himself up and running.
I was just thinking that he's everywhere and he's trying to get in the box at every opportunity when the ball's wide.
It comes from Diomande doing something that Rangers just refused to do in the first half for such long periods. He just makes a run forward and he gets picked out. Yeah, he doesn't win the ball, but then up on the second one, I think it was Moore, the ball ends up at Naderi. He tries to get the shot away, it gets blocked, and they sustain the attack.
Nice touch, plays in Scholes, and he squares it, and Ryan Naderi has missed an absolute sitter to get his goal on the debut. He's placed it so carefully, but he's placed it wide.
Just past the post, he'll be kicking himself because it's a great opportunity. Not dissimilar to what Asgard and Miofsky in the first at the start of this half should have had that connection. Naderi's expecting the ball from Olsen. He takes his touch and he just puts it the wrong side of the post.
And it stays 3-1 Rangers with 88 minutes played at Ibrox. It's all a question of what the final scoreline is going to be, but there's no doubt that Rangers are going to get the win they wanted tonight, with Celtic inactive and Hearts beaten last night. It was all about taking this big chance to get closer to Hearts at the top of the Premiership and keep the momentum going as well for Danny Rule in his 25th game in charge. This will be Premiership win number 13. It's Mikey Moore, lively on the attack again to Romans, cuts it back. Antman must score and does. Oliver Antman, 4-1 Rangers.
Romans is in with a chance of man of the match, by the way. He's been brilliant since he came on. He picks the ball up in the left-hand side near the halfway line, just plays a ball down the line for Moore. But he doesn't just watch it, he doesn't just accept that he's made that pass. He runs the inside channel. Moore finds him, he cuts it inside to Antman, who gets out his feet and just bends it in at the far corner. It's a really good goal from a Rangers point of view. I feel for Kilmarnock because they're knackered.
That's what happens when you shoot instead of passing it 5 yards for somebody else to shoot. It's a good finish, to be fair. It is a good finish. Romans again very much involved. I thought Moore had ran his race after 60 minutes, but the new signings coming on and giving everybody a lift. And He'll be absolutely delighted, Anthony, because I said he felt he probably had to score or contribute something. He's done that. It now gives him a reason to get 10-15 minutes maybe in the next game, and that's how you build your way back into a football team.
The Rangers fans getting a positive taste tonight of what the January transfer window has brought to their team as we go inside stoppage time at the end of the match. 3 minutes are going to be added on to the 90, and it's now 4-1, and a rare moment of joy for Oliver Antman in his brief Rangers career. Got off to such a great start as well. His debut was pretty sparkling for Antman, but it's taken a long time to get his first Rangers goal, which has made it 4-1. So it's all pretty conclusive and comprehensive for Danny Rill's team in the end, having stuttered a bit through the first half, having got off to that ideal start with the early goal. Let's find out about the closing stages at Livingston. Still 2-1 Falkirk, Chick.
It is, Rob, but I tell you what, it's the Bairns are hanging on. It was all John McGunn's team in the first half, 2-0 ahead at half-time. Of course, Conor McLennan got one back for Libby at the start of the second half, and they have absolutely pounded Falkirk. The Bairns have been hanging on. There's wave after wave of attack. With a free kick outside the box, Robin Muirhead. We're well into 5 minutes of time added on, and it's still Livingston coming forward desperate to get this equaliser. The Falkirk players inside the box at the moment. Falkirk back in numbers. This wouldn't surprise me actually if Livingston could snatch something so late on, although having said that, the Bairns have got it and taken it up the park. It's still 2-1 to Falkirk here at Livingston.
So 2-1 Falkirk and 2-1 Dundee United at Easter Road in the closing stages as Kilmarnock make a late, tired-looking attack. And the ball is escorted behind. Another goal at Easter Road, Brian.
It's an equaliser for Hibernian. It was a cross. It was played, in fact, a free kick played in from the right-hand side over the heads of the United defence. The ball eventually fell to LAU, and it was just a yard out, and he tapped the ball into the back of the net. We're now just going into stoppage time here. The fourth official is just about to put the board up. We've not restarted yet. VR's having a look at something. But as things stand, it's Hibernian 2, Dundee United 2.
Antman on the byline, cuts it back, and Mikey Moore gets exactly what he deserves on the night. He's been absolutely outstanding, and finally he gets his goal, a left footer across Kelleroos into the bottom corner. 5-1 Rangers.
He actually starts that move. He's playing in the pocket just as a number 10, right behind Kilmarnock's midfield. He receives it, rolls his body, first thought forward, plays wide to Antman. Antman this time picks him back out with the right pass. He composes himself, puts it left-footed low drive in the far corner. It's what he deserves. He's been the best player on the pitch. It's a good night's work for Mikey Moore.
It's harsh on Kilmarnock, you have to say. 5.
Definitely.
Yeah, you know, it's just the circumstances they found themselves in, and as the game's worn on, Rangers have went from strength to strength, but they certainly don't deserve to be 5-1 down.
And despite Stephen Naismith's campaigning for Romans to get man of the match, Mikey Moore, I think, was given the sponsors man of the match earlier on. He has been outstanding. He started on fire and he's finished pretty impressively as well. It was almost the last kick of the game. Mikey Moore just putting the icing on the cake for Rangers, who do their goal difference a fair bit of good in the process as they move to within 3 points of Hearts at the top of the Premiership. 51 points now for Rangers behind Hearts 54. They got off to the ideal start. James Tavernier's early penalty and Dom Thompson's red card, having fouled Gassama for the penalty. Rangers ahead early on, but pretty unimpressive for the rest of that first half. Bruce Anderson's spurning a really good opportunity to level things up for Kilmarnock. Into the second half, it was Bojan Mijovski who got the second goal to let the Rangers fans breathe a little easier. A first Rangers goal for Andreas Skol-Olsen making it 3-0 for Rangers before Jack Butland's blunder set up Greg Kiltie to pull one back for Kilmarnock. Then Oliver Antman scored his first goal for Rangers, and it was Mikey Moore fittingly at the end, the outstanding player on the pitch, who rifled in a left footer to round things off for Danny Rill's team and to get Rangers very much in the mix in the title race. Rangers 5, Kilmarnock 1.
Football from Sports Sound
on BBC Radio Scotland.
Yes, thanks very much to match commentator at Ibrox, Rob McLean. Stephen and Rory will be hanging on for some post-match analysis. Plenty of goals at Ibrox, no shortage of them elsewhere either. It's full-time at Livingston versus Falkirk. Here's the full-time report from Chick.
Yeah, it finished Livingston 1, Falkirk 2, and I thought that Falkirk were all over Livingston that first half. They went ahead after just 6 minutes. Kyril Wilson with a narrow angle shot, actually, which went in at the goalkeeper's near post. Really, excuse me, he shouldn't be beaten. They were 2-0 ahead after 26 minutes. Louis Marsh with a header at the far post after a corner kick had been nodded onto him. Falkirk looking very comfortable. Barney Stewart at the ball in the net. That was chalked off for offside. They were well ahead. I thought the real grip in the game at half time, but my goodness me.
Hibernian! Hibs have snatched a winner. They were trailing by 2-1 with 90 minutes on the clock, but they've just scored a win. It was a free kick in from the left-hand side, and it's a substitute on his debut, number 77, Antti Suto, who's nodded the ball beyond Maynard Brewer into the top corner of the goal. We still have around 4 of the additional 7 minutes left to play. And remarkably here at Easter Road, it's now Hibernian 3, Dundee United 2.
Well, as I was saying before, love the interruption from Brian. It is 2-1 to Falkirk. As I said, they had a grip in the game at half time. They were 2-0 ahead, and then Conor McLennan got one just 2 minutes into the second half for Livy to bring them back into the game. Liam Henderson was down for a long time inside the box in the wake of that goal. There was a VAR check, but the goal stood. And in the wake of that, I have to say, Livingston were terrific. They got forward time after time. They created waves of opportunities in attack. Scott Bain was busy. The Falkirk defence were busy. And I think Marvin Bartley, on his debut as manager this evening, can be very proud of that Livingston performance in the second half. However, the bottom line is there are no points for him in their battle against relegation. 3 points for Falkirk in their fight to stay in the top 6. What a magnificent evening for them. But I tell you, they've had better second halves. We'll hear what the managers have had to say very shortly, David. But at full time here at Almond Vale, it does finish Livingston 1, Falkirk 2.
Thanks very much, Chick. Michael, late drama at Easter Road. I'd written my questions and my thoughts in terms of a much needed and valuable win for United. Had to tear that up. We're now looking at an incredible comeback from Hibs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's still a few minutes left there, but Nicky Cadden, he comes on, he puts a free kick in for the first one. Dundee United are not able to deal with it, and El Yuan's able to tap it in the back of the net, and then the second one is again another free kick from the other side, this time thrown into the box. And I've got to say, Antti Suto, the Croatian, what a header. I mean, he's having to go backward to get his head onto it, and he loops it into the far corner over Maynard Brewer. It's what a turnaround. I mean, that could be just exactly what Hibs need to try and galvanise them, because it was looking, as you said there, like it was drifting towards a home defeat, and you're feeling like some more big questions being posed of Hibs, but
it's not over yet, of course.
It's not. But if they're able to see this one through, then it's a huge turnaround in injury time.
Yeah, plenty of goals around tonight. 3 games, but we've got 14 goals so far. Back to Ibrox. Gentlemen, at half-time you were bemoaning the lack of entertainment. You satisfied enough with the second 45 in terms of entertainment at least?
Yeah, it was what you probably expected from Rangers after they take the lead and Kilmarnock go down to 10 men. And then after Miofsky scores the second, I said when the subs were coming on, there's no better environment to come into, and I think they all embraced it. Moore continued his good work for the first half, but Romans in left back was up and down. He looks powerful. He looks as if he's got a calmness in his decision making when he's getting cutbacks. The one thing we didn't see was much defending from him. Olsen grew into the game, got a goal, and is a very intelligent player. Rory said it at the end of commentary, it's harsh in Kilmarnock because there is loads of positives for their performance tonight.
Yeah, impressive debuts from a couple of Rangers players tonight. Rory, Stephen was almost given his own personal man of the match award to Romans. He had lots of energy, lots of enthusiasm, didn't he? It was obviously they were keen to make an impression.
Yeah, I think it was his level of intelligence that was the most impressive thing. The timing of his runs and his ability to remain composed in the box, lift his head and pick a man out, and that's vitally important. Magoma is a very good player in his own right, and he gets up and down and he's athletic, but he's young. And he's a little bit raw at times, and his decision making in the final third isn't always there. Romans, of course, is young as well, 21, but he just looks slightly more composed on the ball than maybe Magoma does in really dangerous areas of the pitch. Skov Olsen as well, that goal did him the world of good. It looked like it actually relieved a bit of pressure off his shoulders, which, to be fair, after 2 games you shouldn't really be feeling, but it's always nice to get on the score sheet, for your new club. And it was a really tidy finish, and he showed some lovely touches after that and bursts of pace, and all around.
Full time at Easter Road. David, a remarkable night here again. The Hibs fans inside the stadium on their feet. The United fans dejected. They thought they had all 3 points. Martin Boyle gave Hibs a lead 7 minutes before the break. A deflected shot giving Maynard Brewer no chance. United, though, battling away in the second half. Ross Graham equalised from a corner kick, and then minutes later Max Waters made it 2 for United, and it looked, in all intents and purposes, they'd be heading back to Tannadice with all 3 points. But then in the 90th minute, Ella Ewan equalised after a magnificent free kick that was played in by substitute Nicky Cadden, and then moments later Nicky Cadden again the delivery. This time it was a Croatian substitute, Ante Suto, who signed for the club on Monday night. A header that gave Maynard Brewer absolutely no chance. Hibs in heaven this evening here at Easter Road. I'm not quite sure where United are. It finished here at Easter Road. Remarkable evening. Hibernian 3, Dundee United 2.